Hello children, today the 27th of April. Let's start a new topic. We will speak about computer technology. Our first lesson is about computer technology and translating machines. So let's find out how much do you know about computer technologies. So try to answer these questions. 8 questions. First question, when was the first programmer computer invented? How many years ago? Which came first, emails, the World Wide Web, or the Internet? How much did the first general purpose electronic computer weigh? How much kilos? Which of these is not a type of computer keyboard layout? What does the mobile phone term 4G stands for? What was the first computer mouse made of? What of the term for an unwanted email sent by advertiser to your address? Uh, what are computers integrated circuits, chips or microchips mostly made of? Let's try to do it, and I'll give you some additional information about this material. So, Charles Babbage made the first designs of a programmer steam-driven analytic engine some before 1837 and continued to adapt the designs until the late 1860s. So it was about 150 years ago. Next, which came first? In the 1960s, users of MIT's Electronic Central File Sharing System began using the system to send personal messages, the World Wide Web. So, the World Wide Web, developed by Sir Thomas Berners-Lee, became a public available service in August 1999. And this is the other information. So, which of these is not a type of computer keyboard? The ENIAC was competed at the University of Pennsylvania, USA in 1945. It said that it is used so much electricity that it first made light dim all over the city of Philadelphia when it was in use. So ENIAC, it's a name of computer system. It's not the Dvorak keyboard layout, designed in the 1930s by Dr. August Dvorak, can be used on both Windows and Macs, but has never become popular. Stands for what you see is what you get, describing a computer interface where what appears is an on-screen document is the same as what appears in the final printed document. On layout used for typewriters since the late 1870s. It's still used for most computer keyboards today. So this is it's not a type of computer keyboard, не клавиатура. Okay, what does a mobile phone term 4G stands for? This is generation, yes, first generation. So here you can see first generation mobile technology dates from around 1980. Second generation was introduced in 1991. Third generation in 2001, and a form of 4G in 2010. Although some systems have described themselves as 4th generation since 2004. Okay, next. Okay, what was the first computer mouse made of? So Dougal Engelbart made the first computer mouse in 1964. It is case what made out of wood, дерево. It was made of wood. So next, which is the term for an unwanted email sent by an advertiser to your address? It's a worm. Worm is a type of computer software similar to a virus. Ctrl-Delete is a Windows keystroke combination which interrupts a program or function show. Spam is an unwanted email sent. And chips and microchips mostly made of made of various materials, including copper on a ceramic base of silicon. Tiny amounts of gold may be used in some parts of certain computers, but not in chips. So, silicon. Now, here's some information about the first computer technologies. So, the first calculating machine. Here you can see. Here you can see the first computing machine in the late 19th century. Yes, here you can see it. The first computing machine. The first computer appeared in the United States in 1945. The first computer in our country, here you can see this photo, it was made by Sergei Alexeyevich Lebedev. Computing equipment can be divided into generation, yes, two also in generation, second generation computers of second generation, third generation computers, fourth generation computers, fifth generation computers. These machines of the near future, their main quality should be a high intellectual level. So these machines are so firmly entrenched in modern life that without them it's almost impossible to live. So now we'll speak about computer dictionaries and translators. So here you can see some information about the problem of machine translating. It's only the first sign seem elude a simple formalization. So here you can read this information about this. Now, if you know the language from which translate and do not use the machine translation systems and do without a computer dictionary, you are unlikely to succeed. So you can use the translators, computer translators, but you should use a correct translation. Because of that, there are very many problems. So look at this notification from a hotel notice board and answer the questions. Who might have written them? What is wrong with them? So, hotel guardians. Is forbidden to steal hotel towels, please. If you are not a person to do such things, is please not to read notice. Guests are expected to complain at the office between 9 and 11 a.m. every day. So, uh, probably they were written with the usage of translators because there are a lot of mistakes here. Then, now let's read an article about the problem with computers and problem with the translation programs. To find the answers to this question, when was the first electronic translator system demonstrated? What was one of the problems with the Georgetown system? So let's read this text without putting some inserts, yes, some missing information. So the problem with computers. If machines could just translate text on the spot, international communication would be a piece of cake. When we traveled abroad, we would each just carry a pocket translator with us. We would be able to read books, magazines, and websites in any language. And just think how much better people all over the world would understand each other. It's not a new idea. The trouble is that no machine can produce a perfect translation yet. In fact, the first attempt to develop an electronic translation system, known as a Georgetown experiment, was in 1954. When it was demonstrated, 60 Russian sentences were translated automatically into English by an IBM 701 mainframe computer. It was a great success. The audience was thrilled. If a machine can translate 60 sentences so accurately, they thought. But actually, things weren't so simple. The Georgetown system could only translate the 250 Russian words that the programmers had taught it. Научили, да, их говорить, только 250 слов. And it only knew 6 grammar rules и только 6 грамматических правил. In other words, it knew less Russian than someone who had only been learning the language for a few weeks. Okay, and the translations it produced were probably worse than a beginner's. Now, more than 60 years later, there are hundreds of electronic translation software programs, as well as a lot of electronic translation services on the internet. However, the translation they produce are not just incorrect. Machines still haven't managed to produce really accurate translation in spite of the great progress that computer technology has made. That's much more than just choosing the right vocabulary from a dictionary. For example, the simple English phrase, please turn on, over, which is used at the bottom of the page when the text continues on the next page. If you try translating it into another language and you'll see that the translation doesn't really make sense. Just like these translations of the phrase by an online translator, please go back, please surrender, please turn to, please hang out, hang on. The main problem is that machines don't understand meaning. They can be programmed to link words, expressions, and structures in one language with their equivalents in another language. Thinking machines have not yet been invented. If you want a translation that you can understand, you need a human translator. So, when was the first electronic translation system demonstrated? It was demonstrated in 1954. What was one of the problems with the Georgetown system? What was the problem? Can you tell me? What was the problem? That the machine can translate only 60 sentences. Yes, the system could only translate the 250 Russian words that the programmer had taught what, and it knew less Russian than someone who had only been learning the language for a few weeks. So its producers were probably worse than a beginner. Даже хуже, чем начинающий, эта машина могла переводить, да, с русского на английский. Okay, let's do next. Let's insert these phrases. So then back into English. They are often difficult to understand. Then it can translate anything because putting a message into words is, but they can't really understand text, but they are too long because machines don't have brains. So try to do it. Try to do it yourself. And here you can see the answers. Try to match. Next task, our task. Find these words and phrases in the article and match them with their meaning. So a piece of cake, attempt, demonstrated, accurate, progress, message, equivalent. Trying to do something, move forward, something very easy, shown how it works, of the same meaning as something else, the idea that you want to express, correct without mistakes. So let's match what we happened, what we see. So number one, a piece of cake. This is something very easy. Yes, you may use this useful expression. It's a piece of cake. Something very easy. Attempt. Trying to do something. Попытка, другими словами. Attempt – это попытка. Demonstrated. Shown how it works. Demonstration. Demonstrated, demonstration. Next. Form. Accurate. Correct without mistakes. Number 5. Progress. This is move forward, да? Продвигаться вперед, то есть достигать чего-то. Message. This is the idea that you want to express, да, послание, да, не то, что сообщение, которое мы отправляем, а именно послание кому-то. Ну и number 7, equivalent. This is of the same meaning and something else. Да, как что-то еще. Например, эквивалент, как можно сказать в русском языке, мы тоже эти слова используем. Okay, and the last task for today. Match this abbreviation used in SMS messages and online chatting with their meaning. When might you use each? So, when you might use each. And P before, hand, IMO, PRB, and so on. So, let's try to do it. Just try to do it yourself and we will check it. So, NP. NP, it's no problem. So, how do you think? When you can use this phrase? I think when you have all clearly understand and you have no problems with doing some task, with some information, and so on and so forth. Before. Number 2, before. Да? Before. Okay, number 3, hand. Number 6 is have a nice day. When we say goodbye to each other, we say this word, this phrase. Have a nice day. Приятного дня. IMO. Number 4. In my opinion. When you use your own opinion. In my opinion. По моей точке зрения. Okay. BRB. Be right back. Скоро вернусь, да? When you chat with your friends and your mom calls you, so you may write this to your friends. Be right back. Скоро вернусь. Okay. Number 5. Okay. The short form. Yeah, good. Understand. That's okay. По. Parents are watching. Yes, you may write these words when you're chatting with your friends, some secret confidential information, and you may write down that your parents are watching in monitor or in your telephone. So next, This long phrase it's number 8. If you want, if you know what I mean, да, если вы знаете, если ты знаешь, что я имею в виду. If you know what I mean, да, ты знаешь, что я имею в виду. Number next. This phrase, I think you know it. Laughing out loud, да, this is like smiles. Next, the last one. Number 7. Let me know. Да, let me know. Да, позволь мне узнать что-либо. Let me know. Okay, and your monologue and your home task. So I want you to do this monologue on page 123, на страничке 123, монолог, тема компьютера, так же, как в прошлый раз записываем. Монолог, опять-таки говорю, не чтение хочу слышать рассказ. Так, у нас есть 4 вопроса, давайте их разберем. So, what opportunities computers offer to people? Какие возможности, да, предлагают компьютеры людям? What advantages and disadvantages? Преимущества, недостатки использования компьютера. Why you need a computer? Почему вам нужен компьютер? How much time do you spend using a computer? Сколько времени вы проводите за компьютером? Напоминаю, когда вы говорите монолог, рассказывайте, должно быть вступление, допустим, I want to give a talk about on computers или on about computers, и в конце вывод so, и что-нибудь, какую-то одну завершающую фразу там, да. So, see you next lesson, goodbye.